Hello everyone and welcome back to another video where I'll be doing a armies on parade of my orcs. Now this is a kind of pushing 5,000 points army that I've been collecting. Orcs is kind of the joint first biggest army that I have. Probably that, in fact it is my biggest. It's my joint first longest that I've collected. So as you can see this took a long time to set up. I'm trying to sort all the models into their right units. So I'll dive straight in at the front with Ghazghkull. Now this is the older Ghazghkull sculpt that I think is better than the newer Ghazghkull sculpt. Significantly because it's a lot smaller. Because I've seen the new Ghazghkull model. I don't know how many of you guys have, and it's bigger than a Death Dread. So I think this size is a lot better. So I've then got 3 Mega Knobs behind him, and then Doc Grotznik within there as well. Behind them, I've then got a War Boss in Mega Armor, obviously from the Combat Patrol kit. Behind him, a massive unit of Knobs with a Pain Boy. To the side, I've then got just a regular War Boss, the Power Claw and Boss Shooter, and then 2 units of Scar Boys. Now, I think I said before in some of my videos that these are just the newer sculpts of regular boys. But they are bigger and meaner looking than the older boys that I have, so I'm using them as Scar Boys. Behind them still, I've got 2 units of Slugger and Chopper Boys, each one with a big shooter, and then I have 1 burner as well. Pardon me. If I come around this side, I've then got a 3rd unit of regular boys. That's a unit of shooter boys with 2 big shooters and a rocket launcher. And then a knob with a combi rocket. Come around here, I've got a unit of tank busters. Now, like many units of my Ork Army, this unit is heavily converted. Including a couple of scratch-built rocket launchers, as you can see, 1 there and then 1 behind them in there. So this one is built from a series of kind of tank bits, like mostly from the Stomper kit, I think, just regular cylinders, and then this one is made from, if I can zoom in a bit there, you can see the bulk of it is a shooter, then with a bit of like cylindrical plastic on the end, then with a rocket. I think that rocket came from, I'd like to say, the Death Dread kit. Yeah, I think the Death Dread. I've then got another 10 Scar Boys. So these are obviously the Beast Snagger Boys, but I'm using them as Snakebite Scar Boys. If I continue around this side, I've got a big mech with a shock attack gun. Pretty swish little model there, I really like that. Then with another mech with custom Mega Blaster. And behind them I have my Dread Bash of 2 Death Dreads. Again, 1 is heavily converted. And then 3 Killer Cans behind them. I then have a Deathcopter squadron of 4 Deathcopters, and as you can see again, 3 of them are from the Combat Patrol set, and then 1 is from the Assault on Black Reach set, very old. And then I have a Battle Wagon behind them. Excuse me. Coming around the side, I've got a unit of Storm Boys. Now there is another one as well, but he's broken and hasn't been repaired yet, so there should be 10, but now there's 9. I then have a Gorkanaut. Pretty cool little model. And then next to the Gorkanaut, another Battle Wagon I've painted up in Bad Moon's colours to go with my Bad Moon boys, which I'll come on to in a second. In front of the Great Stomper, I have a unit of Commandos. Again, heavily converted. I don't think they're the heaviest converted unit in my army, but they're pretty converted. And then if we arch up, I have the Stomper. Now this is glued mostly as the instructions, but around the back I've got a few grots doing some chores. I don't know how close I can get with the camera that you can see them. It's not really focusing. You got the idea. Couple grots there. So I've missed off quite a few kind of little detail bits off that, but I painted it green like the old Gargants were. Quite pleased with that. Swooping down here next to the Stomper, I have a unit of 'Blood Axes. So they're pretty converted. the helmets, where I've just got them kind of flat, regular helmets. As you all know, there's a few heads like that just kind of scattered around the ork kits. Why is it not focusing? There we go. A few like that scattered around the ork kits, and then I've cut off any spikes or horns or anything else on some more heads to give a flat helmet. So you can see the one at the back there is the head from that scar boy there, just with the horns cut off to give the flat regimental profile. And then behind them I have what I'm using as a gun wagon, which is just kind of a regular tank with a cannon in the front, converted from a Meng Toon Wars tank that I got from the charity shop for £3. Pretty good deal. I then have quite a big unit of grots with a slaver. And then above them, sweeping along through the air, I have a Dakka jet. Pretty nice little kit. I'd quite like to get a second one, but such is life. I'll get onto my speed wire in a minute, but here I have the bad moons, as I was telling you about. So these I've converted as Ard boys, and if we take a closer look at one, you can see I've sculpted armor pads on using milliput, and some kind of obviously ork shoulder pads, and then a few heavily armored torsos when I can find them. So they have a big shooter, and then the knob has a combi scorcher. You can see there. Alright, I think that is the core of my army there. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. So onto the speed wire. Now this is kind of a mini army in its own, because I have, as you can see, I've lost a wrecking wall off that snapped off. I have it and I keep repairing it, but it keeps snapping off again. So I have 3 trucks. Again, this one is built as per the instructions. And this one I've converted quite a bit. As you can see, I've put the kind of side armour plates on there. And built kind of a scratch-built ram at the front from a boarding plank. And then this one is even more converted because it only has 4 wheels. I brought the front engine up and actually closed off the engine completely with a hard top. You can see the squigs sat on it there with a hard top. So I effectively have the engine piece spare, which is a nice little bit to have. And then I using the kind of roll bars from the regular truck kit, you can see them kind of in there. Again, it's not focusing very well. There we go. But you can see them in there. And then I built kind of a hard top using plastic hard and a few other bits and pieces left over from my other trucks and whatnot to build up a top there. I then have 3 buggies. So this one there, no, 4 buggies actually, because I've then got the dragster. I've then got the Boom Necker Snaz Wagon, fantastic kit, and then the Squig Truck. So 4 buggies. I've then got 2 units of truck boys, although only one's painted. You can see I've got a few on the ground there, some in the truck, and the knob over here. And then I'm using my second knob from the Combat Patrol set, because obviously you get 2 sets of 10 boys, including a knob. I've got the first knob from that set in the Scar Boys unit there, but they're actually quite big, so I'm using this one as a Speed Freak War Boss. I've got a second unit of Scar Boys, but that's not Scar Boys, sorry, Truck Boys, but it's only painting. I then have a scratch-built Wazdaka Guts Mech. So if you just take a closer look at him, you can see that I've upgraded the second wheel. I'm going to put him down, try and focus it no more. I've replaced the smaller wheel with a regular sized truck wheel, and then kind of bodged the connector things together. You can see it's not great, but it does the job. I've then got the gun on the front, which is Wazdaka's custom blaster. Is half of the weapon from on a Jejune Crawler from the Admech set. I've got a standard power claw from the boys set, I think. A head from the, I think that was a Big Mech head from the Mega Knob set. And then I've got a scratch built plastic hard banner pole, which actually ties in, because I cut this out myself, and it ties in speed with mech. Make a Speed Freak mech. And then I have a series of war bikes. I've got 5 5 war bikes painted here, and then I've got another 2 or 3 still to do. Excuse me. Yes, that's my speed wire. So, as I said, the total army comes to a total of about 4,500 points, I think. So if I just give you a few more kind of run-through shots, I'll talk a little bit about the army. So, as I said, this is the joint first longest army that I've been collecting. I went to the Cavalier Gaming Show, which I have pictures of on my Instagram, quite a few years ago now. I think that it must have been 2019, I think, because there wasn't any over the COVID years, so I think it was 2019. And I picked up a tactical squad box set. I'll just run you through the Ork City here. I picked up a tactical squad box set and a kind of pack of 20 Assault on Black Reach Ork boys, these lads here, for £10 each. And that started off largely kick-started my 40k gaming career, really. Since then, I've added unit after unit with the start collecting orks. I think I got probably 2020, in Christmas 2020. And then the combat patrol, the newer combat patrol I got more recently. It's just kind of grown as an organic process. I've still got lots of orks left to paint. I've got another box of knobs, another box of boys, bikes, lots of stuff still to do. So I mean, it's by no means finished. I've played many, many games with them. If any of you guys saw us at Salute 2023, this was the army I had. I've tried playing a few games just using a Cotter Speed army, and it's been fun. But it has been very good. Because obviously orks are extremely lethal in close combat. And having lots of tracks and fast moving things, being able to get into combat, I think I've been able to assault on turn 2 before. And, you know, by that point, once I have a unit of orks, 2 units of orks in close combat, maybe even 3, excuse me again, I've largely won the game. Yeah, terrific army to use. I think the most fun has come from actually converting them and then painting them once they've been converted. Like you can see, my most recent additions are the ones I've converted the most. So, namely, Tank Busters, Ard Boys, and the Commandos, and the Blood Axes too. The Snake Bites I converted a little bit. I converted some of the poses, because quite a few of them were in some quite weird poses, so I converted 3 of them by moving the arms about. Yeah, obviously I love orks. Channel is I like painting orks after all, because I do. So this was a video that was requested quite a few years ago on the channel. So if you're watching it, I hope this suffices for you. It took me quite a long time to set it all out. And now, if you guys don't mind, I'll just talk about the scenery a little bit. So all of the regular, buildings are from TT Combat, which I have spoken about quite a lot on my channel. So I've actually reviewed the scenery itself, and that's gone a bit viral. I've had about 500 views on that video. Thank you, guys. Yeah, but I'll put a link up to that anyway if you haven't seen it. Terrific scenery, really fun to build. The kit wasn't fantastic, but obviously it's ork stuff, so quite a lot of it I've just hacked about, chopped, glued bits of plastic on, and then painting it was really fun as well. I think I did film some tutorials for that, but actually lots of footage now. Really fun doing all of that. I would highly, highly recommend an Ork Army to anyone who doesn't have one. Even if you start off, small, they are a fantastic army. I'd recommend buying this older style of boy, because I know the kit kind of off by heart now, and it gives you loads of options. Really versatile kit. It's really easy to convert, and no 2 models have to look the same with it. Instead of going in and buying these boys straight away, because there aren't as many options with these. With the older set, obviously, you can glue the units you like with sluggers and choppers or shooters, whereas the new boys, a box of 10, you come with mixed. And you can't change that, because you don't get any options. yeah, I think these boys are great. If you can pick a few sets up, start with them, and then buy some of these, you know, to mix in, or to use as Scar boys like I've done. I'd recommend doing that first. For anyone that likes kit bashing or converting and who doesn't have an Ork army, then I'd say, what are you doing? Because obviously orks are the best army to convert to kit bash, and I've loved it. Doing what I've been doing on my orks. So that's largely all I've got to say now, guys. I'll just give you a few quick shots over again. Show you what I've got. And I'll say I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe, guys, especially with this, because it took me ages to set up. I've actually been a bit overwhelmed while I was getting it all out, because this is a lot of models. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for viewing. Until next time, keep orking, and I will see you in the next video.